The Maldives. More than 1,000 tiny islands scattered across the Indian Ocean. The kind of place that looks so perfect in photos, you almost expect to be disappointed in real life. But it actually does look like that. Still, not everything here is perfect. Some islands are crowded, some reefs are damaged, and everything comes at a price. So here's a real look at what the Maldives is like. The beauty, the calm, and the small realities behind the dream. Flights land at Valana International Airport, right next to the capital, Malé, a dense island city surrounded by water. Most travelers don't stay long. It's busy, crowded, and local beaches don't allow bikinis or swimwear, except on designated bikini beaches or private resort islands. That's why almost everyone heads straight out by speedboat or seaplane. The moment you lift off, you're in a different world. Just outside the capital, North Malé Atoll is where most visitors start. Resorts here are close enough to reach by speedboat, easy and convenient, though not exactly remote. The water is clear, and many resorts have great snorkeling just off the beach. The trade-off is that it's not exactly isolated, and you'll see other islands, even shipping routes, in the distance. On the plus side, it's ideal for shorter stays or for anyone who doesn't want to deal with long transfers or seaplane schedules. The first time I went to the Maldives, I only had a couple of days, and this was the easiest part to get to. A little farther south, South Malé Atoll feels more peaceful. The resorts are smaller, and the beach is often quieter. The snorkeling is good, and the vibe is slower, though you can still reach it in under an hour by speedboat. The downside? Some parts of the lagoon have visible seawalls or breakwaters protecting the beaches from erosion, which can make it feel less natural. Still, for honeymooners or anyone looking for calm without the seaplane hassle, this area works really well. Ba Atoll is one of the most beautiful parts of the Maldives, and one of the most protected. It's a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, home to Hanifaru Bay, where manta rays gather by the hundreds between June and November. Resorts here lean toward eco-luxury, with strong conservation programs and careful reef management. But it's not cheap, and getting here usually means a 30-minute seaplane flight. The reefs are still healthy in many areas, though like everywhere in the Maldives, some spots show coral bleaching. Maldives is trying to balance luxury with sustainability, but I'm not the right person to say if they're succeeding or not. If you're into diving or snorkeling, Ari Atoll is probably the best choice. The reefs here are stunning. Resorts like Lux South Ari and Constance Moofushi sit close to prime dive sites. That said, parts of the atoll are more built up, and a few islands feel more resort-polished than natural. You'll still find incredible lagoons and sunsets, but expect a little less of that untouched feel compared to the outer atolls. Farther north, Raya and Nunu atolls are all about isolation. Getting here means a long seaplane ride, and it's mostly ultra-luxury resorts here. This price range is off-limits for most of us, so I'll skip that one. Down south, Maadhoo Atoll feels like a different world. The islands are linked by causeways, so you can actually drive between them, rare in the Maldives. There's local life, history, and a slower pace that feels more authentic than the resort-heavy center of the country. The reefs here are good, and the diving is excellent, but there are fewer luxury options. For travelers wanting a glimpse of the Maldives beyond the influencers, Maadhoo is worth the long flight. Staying on a local island is the best way to see the real Maldives. Islands like Moofushi, Thulhagiri, and Dhigura have guest houses, local cafes, and public beaches. It's affordable and friendly, but much more modest. You'll need to cover up outside of tourist areas, and there's no alcohol. The upside is seeing daily life, fishing boats, kids playing by the jetty, and a slower rhythm that reminds you this is a country, not just a resort brand. The Maldives is beautiful year-round. The best weather is from November to April. The rainy season is from May to October and comes with lower prices. Transfers between islands are almost always by speedboat or seaplane, and both can be delayed if the weather turns bad. Once you're on your island, there's no transport. You walk, bike, or take a golf cart. Resort food and drinks are expensive, and since you can't easily go elsewhere, it's worth checking meal plans in advance. Wi-Fi is generally decent, but not perfect. The Maldives is exactly as beautiful as it looks. Endless blue, quiet islands, and the feeling of being far from everything. But it's not perfect. Expensive, repetitive, and sometimes a little too polished. It's not the kind of place most people return to unless they're rich. Still, it's on almost everyone's bucket list for a reason. I'll go back, just not soon. I'll need to buy a few lottery tickets first.